Welcome to Momtroversial, the podcast that dives headfirst into the beautiful chaos of motherhood and dishes on the stuff we wish we would have known and nobody tells you. I'm Leah, your scrunchy nurse writing the Hot Mess Express, and I'm here to remind you that it's fine, we're fine, everything's fine.
I'm Alyssa, a crunchy mom who's all about organic living. I'm organized, opinionated, and your designated woman in any parenting bar fight.
And I'm Tori, your ride or die mom of three who will absolutely hold your baby and your secret.
And today we are filming book talk. So we are doing an episode of just catching up on our favorite book recommendations and readings of this month. So for those listeners who are new here, I will start off with just a brief intro on reading, what we like to read, and kind of where we stand with that to help intro you guys. And then we'll just talk about what we're reading this month. So hopefully, if you guys need recommendations, we can come to you too. So, first of all, let's start off with what got you guys back into reading in your adult life?
I never got out of it, honestly. I wasn't reading like 3 books a week, but I have been a reader since I think I was reading the Magic Tree House books at like 3 years old. My mom said.
You're
So
so cool.
I just love reading. I love reading. So I definitely went through a period where I wasn't reading as much. But a lot of the popular series I read, like that are popular now, like Throne of Glass and that kind of thing, I read as they were coming out, or I have been reading as they came out. So I would just, I would read like 10 books a year as opposed to I think I'm at like 60 right now. But
60?
yeah.
Like
I think
60?
so. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Professional status.
I value nap time. So during nap time, I try and read. But yeah. Also
60.
Ryan's gone right now during the week. So at bedtime or after my girls go to bed and I clean the kitchen and stuff, I just read. So
Nice.
But 60, you've read 60 books.
yeah.
And we are filming this at the end of September. We still have 3
Yes.
full months to go.
Yeah. Maybe I can hit 100.
Yeah, get it, girl.
I'd
How
have
many
to
books you
check
read?
it. It's like romantasy, fantasy, that kind of stuff. So Throne of Glass. I reread ACOTAR this year.
Oh, just
We were
1,000
at Throne of
pages.
Glass
No big
twice this
deal.
year. Hey, Tori.
I did read Throne of Glass twice this year.
Yeah. So pretty long. I don't know, because it's weird. It's in my Kindle now, so I don't actually know how long they are. 5-hour books, give or take. 6 hours, 7 hours, 5 to 10 hours.
I guess my pride's just wounded a little bit because I'm over here
I'm so
sitting at
sorry.
17 books this year, and I was like, heck yeah, 17 books, let's go.
Hey, don't knock
then
it. Don't knock
You said
17.
Yeah, 17 is great.
It's amazing.
I'll get a good count for next book talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tori, what got you into rereading in adulthood?
Alyssa and my sister. I was always an avid reader.
And Fourth Wing.
Yes. Well, again, that was you and my sister telling me about this. You have to read this dragon book, and I'm like, okay, I'll read the dragon book because I've always loved books. I was the always had a book with me type person. I was reading, I don't know, everything. I was reading everything. I was a big Harry Potter kid. I just loved books. And then somewhere along the way, I just kind of stopped reading as much. And I would say I was more like a 3 to 5 books a year person. And yeah, then Alyssa got me back into reading. And I'd say actually my first back into reading book was It Ends With Us. I read that just before the new year. And then the first book I read this year was Fourth Wing. And it was at the insistence of Alyssa and my sister. So yeah, and I was hooked after I read that. I was like, all right, this is my whole personality now. And now this is what I do. I just read fantasy books. Although I'm taking a page out of Leah's book, and I have read some nonfiction books this year too. So I wouldn't say for every single book I read, but maybe every single series or every 2 series I feel like I'm constantly reading 3 or 4 books at a time anyways. I've got
That gives me anxiety.
got like my audiobook, my nonfiction book, and then my fantasy book, and then I have my like hard copy something I've grabbed from the library, and then my Bible study book. So yeah, we got like 5 books going on all at like at any given point.
Yeah, I have 3. I think I have 3 going on right now because I have an audiobook, and like personal development, just reading it on my Kindle, and then like for funsies, reading it on my Kindle. So yeah, I I can't believe I didn't realize that you just got back into reading. So
Mhm.
in this conversation, so for people who are listening, we're all romanticy girls, and it's really funny though because I get like really insecure, like when people ask me when they're like, "Oh, you like to read? What do you like to read?" And I'm like, "I don't know if you want to know what I like to read, unless you read it too. I don't know if you want to know what I like to read."
What do you read? Like, and then
Yeah,
I'll tell you. You tell me, and I'll tell you.
very
I'll show you
slut.
yours,
I
you
don't
show me
know.
yours.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were romanticy girlies. So like Sarah Moss, Fourth Wing. I think have you guys read oh gosh, why From Blood and Ash by
Yes, and
Jennifer?
the new one literally just hit my
It just
Kindle.
came out.
Yeah, and I am exercising extreme self-control because we said we're reading Anathema next. But also it's like not the last one anymore because she freaking did a whole money grab about that. So now I'm
It's
like, I can wait
not?
a minute. No, she was like, she pushed because the release date was supposed to be in June, and then she pushed it and
Mm-hmm.
said, and I just couldn't finish the story in one book, so I'm doing 2 more. I was like,
2
whatever.
more
Hold
after
on,
this?
eye roll.
No, 2 more including this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing
Yeah.
that announcement, and I was super bummed because we were talking about going on like a book retreat to read this
Yeah,
book.
it would have been
It
so
was like a
freaking
whole
fun.
thing. Yes, and then we
Yeah.
didn't get to do it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So have you read this
Yeah.
series then, Tori, From Blood and Ash?
I haven't. I was waiting until this last book came out, and I was gonna do like a full like marathon reread leading up to kind of like we did with Onyx Storm, like
Yeah.
getting there right before the last book dropped. But then when I saw that she wasn't doing that, then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna bump it down on TBR then because
It's
which
really good.
TBR
It's
is
got a
to be
few
read
things.
for anyone who's not a book
Sorry.
girly or book talker. TBR is to be read. And in case we talk about this, DNF is did not finish. So when you hear those acronyms, that's what we're talking about.
You would love the main male character in From Blood and Ash.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, that's a good series, and it's
Yeah.
like I do remember I need to reread it because I remember that it had unexpectedness to it, which I really
Mhm.
appreciated. Just like even in the last book, like the most recent book, when you found out some of the stuff, I was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh." And I really appreciate that because I feel like I've been reading like romantasy enough now that there are some books where I pick it up and I'm like, "Oh, this is like basic. This is pretty
Mhm.
lame. I know it's gonna happen." So I can really appreciate like a romantasy author that can craft the almost like gotcha moments where you just didn't expect
Mhm.
it and you're like,
Yes.
"Oh, plot twist." And she does that really well. The first series I
Yeah.
got back into reading was right after college, and it was The Selection. I know, Alyssa, you've read that, right?
Oh. Yeah, I read it in, like, high school, I think.
Okay, so
It
it
was
was
good.
like The Selection, which is kinda like, it was like The Bachelor people described it as like The Bachelor meets, like, Hunger Games kind of with the world style,
Yeah.
and it was 3 books. It was cute. I mean, it was kind of predictable, but it was still cute. And then after that, the same person who had introduced me to that series introduced me to Throne of Glass.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so then I
The
went into
Roman
Throne of
Empire.
Glass, and then that's just kind of how I got back in. And it's ebbed and flowed, like where I've had
Mhm.
seasons where like
Yeah.
I've read more and I've read less. Um, I think I picked it back up a ton after having Declan when I was home on maternity leave, and like he was newborn and he just slept all the time. And then I've picked it up recently, honestly, since being back here. And I remember when we were all getting together to read Onyx
Yeah.
Storm when that came
Mhm.
out. And
That was
after
so
that, it's just
fun.
Yeah, it was.
when you have friends to read with together, like to talk about books with, have you read this one? Or have you read this one? Or let's read it together. I think that makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, with all of that stuff being said, let's go into what have you read this month and what are you reading right now? So, I feel like we should start with Alyssa, Miss 60 books. You've probably read the most
Yeah.
this
I have to
month.
look.
So, we should start debriefing some of your things.
Okay. What have I read this month? So, what I just finished up is Trial of the Sun Queen, which was unexpectedly fantastic. Like, fantastic. Okay, so here's my like scoring system. I have 5 stars is like would reread. Okay, we're talking Throne of Glass, we're talking Akatar, we're talking Fourth Wing. Um, Blood and Ash is kind of up there, but it's so long I don't really want to reread it. But I love the story. And then 4 stars is like I don't really want to reread it, but I absolutely loved reading it. Big fan. 3 stars is I don't regret reading it, but whatever. 1 or 2 stars is I didn't even finish it. This sucks. Or I finished it out of obligation. Anyways, so Trial of the Sun Queen, probably 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars. Um, so I read those 4, and then Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows is more of like a closed door romance. And the first book, Divine Rivals, was really good, and I struggled to get through Ruthless Vows. I was like interested, but not that interested. You know, like she could have added 50 pages to Divine Rivals and it could have been a standalone, you know? But instead she added
Mhm.
a whole other book and it's just like, eh. But yeah, I think I might have read I took a break, so Court of Ravens and Ruin, I think I might have read this month. I'm not sure. And then The Ever King. The Ever King, I would say, is also like 4.5 stars. Court of Ravens and Ruin is like 4 stars. Um, you know, maybe 3. It was interesting. Have no interest in rereading it, but it was interesting. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been reading. And then I have Anathema on deck, which I'm excited for after reading that summary again.
Okay, give me because I haven't read any of those. I just added them to my to be
Okay.
read list on my phone. So, can you give me a quick synopsis without spoilers?
Yes. Okay. So, um, A Court of Ravens in Ruin is a wreck from Tori, and it was, gosh, I suck at synopsis without spoilers, but it was, Fae, um, trials, there's trials,
Mhm.
like Fae human relationship, that kind of thing. Um,
Okay,
Enemies to lovers, of course, because obviously.
obviously, it's
Um,
my favorite.
obviously. Divine Rivals was very different. It was set in a different world, but it was like World War II vibes, in my
Okay,
opinion, like
Mhm.
World War I, World War II, with the time period and the like war that they're fighting, kind of. Well, I would say World War I because it was trenches. And so it's about two reporters that are trying to report on the war front, and the war is between two gods, and they're like kind of conscripting humans to fight for them, but it's not forced, but it kind of is because they like manipulate them and everything. Um, so that's that. And then Trial of the Sun Queen is also very similar to like um, you know, Bachelor meets Hunger Games, at least at first, and then it really evolves. But it's about a human girl who's prisoner in this like really awful prison. Think like concentration camp. And she is freed somehow. And
okay.
that's also enemies to lovers
Where is
because
your to be
I
read
have a type.
list or your like you have read? Can you like do you have a note? Can you share? Wait, you don't have iPhone, so you can't share notes.
I
Ooh.
have
Oh.
a notebook actually, it's on paper.
I'm gonna need you to send me an update at the end
So
of every month because I actually really only enjoy reading based off of recommendations. And I have this to be read list from people online, but it's
mhm.
different when it's like my friend who I know that we like the same books, and you're saying, "Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it was so good," than somebody online saying,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, it was so good."
I will say, just to give you, like, if you're like, "Oh, I wonder if I'd like these books," my vibe is I love fantasy, I love romance, I don't mind open door stuff, but I need a plot line. I'm not
Mhm,
just
mhm,
reading, uh, for the smut, like, I don't mind if it
mhm.
has that in there, but I'm not necessarily looking for it. And, so, like, for instance, I will never read Zodiac Academy because of the reviews surrounding it about how it's, like, barely applied, the writing is terrible, but, like,
I actually liked
just a
Zodiac
ton of smut.
Academy.
I know a lot of people do,
Oh.
but like, from what
I think
I've
Ever
gathered around
King
it,
series
it's
had
not my
just as
vibe.
much unnecessary smut in Ever King that, like, didn't
Yeah, but
enhance the
Everking had
plot
a
as Zodiac.
like oh, I think it did. There was so much tension. Forgot about Everking. That was a great
There's
one. That
so
was like
much
Pirates of
tension
the
in
Caribbean
Zodiac
meets
too.
Fae. Yeah, I don't know. I've the my big gripe with it, I think, would be, I've heard the writing is horrendous, like, terrible writing.
You would hate the writing.
Yeah, and I won't, like, I just won't read it because
I
of
read
that,
for
and
vibes. I don't care about eloquency with your word. I read for the vibes, so
yeah.
I loved it, but you would hate it
I'll sit there and
for
be
that.
like, "Why did you even phrase that way? Why?" I'll rewrite the whole book in my head. And I'm not even that good of a writer. I had a teacher in high school that taught me how to appreciate writing, I think is a good way to say it. Um, and so, like, anytime I see poor writing now, I'm like, "Dude, like, did you have an editor? Like, what is happening?"
Yeah, I just read for the
So,
vibes.
that's my reading, I don't know, vibe standards, whatever you wanna call them.
I
That's what I
love
look
it. So
for.
then I still do want your TBR read, your or not your TBR, but what
You
you've
got it.
read, because that would be helpful. Um, Tori, what have you read this month?
So I took a little bit of a hiatus. I really loved Ever King and Ever Queen. And then I started Miss Thief and I just couldn't get into it. And I was kind of in like a weird, like busy mental state and I just couldn't get into any book. I tried several and I just was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I was being really picky for some reason. And so I was like, okay, Alyssa, I'm ready. Like, what are we reading? And usually that's what I go to Alyssa and I'm like, what are we reading? I just tag on to her. So she sends me
We
videos
made
of
a
her
TBR a
TBR.
while ago.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, she sends me videos of our TBR and like this is what we have basically. It's like 5, 6 pages long, 4 or 5 pages. I don't know. But she's like gotten the everything is so organized. It's very Alyssa fashion. It's like the
Mm.
date, you know. I don't know. It's very pretty. We should post a little like snapshot of it. It would be really, really fun to share that. But
On it.
I am almost done with the 4th book in Trial of the Sun Queen, and I have to completely agree with Alyssa. It has been very unexpectedly amazing. I like it it's not anything like Fourth Wing, but it gave me Fourth Wing vibes in the way that I was immediately interested in the story. Where I was
Okay,
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I love
hello." Like
that.
I was hooked like from the beginning. And there have been books like I feel like the Court of Ravens and Ruin, I liked it. Although I will say the very first chapter was like it was a hook for sure. But then after that, it was the only thing that kept me going for a while in the first book because it was like of him like this
Mhm.
very vague like oh someone took her and I'm going to get her back and nobody better put a hand on her or something like that. It was very like touch her and die very first page. I was like, okay, I'll read this.
Love that.
I'm in.
But the rest of the story took me a little bit to kind of like get into it. But I loved that. I wanted to highlight a couple of books that I read not this past month, but this year that I read about 40-ish books this year. I don't have them counted, but I read Throne of Glass twice. So that, you know,
Mm.
that's
That's
8.
like
That's an
16 books.
So many books. Um,
Yeah.
because when I was looking at my list, like, semi-recently, I was like, "Oh, I thought I read more books than this," and that's because I read Throne of Glass twice. But One Dark Window, it's a duology.
Oh,
It's easily
yes.
one of the best serieses I have ever freaking read. It
I'm
is
gonna
kind
look
of
that
a
up.
gothic fantasy, dark. There's very little actual romance in it, which is fine because the plot is so freaking good.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh man, I cannot say enough good things about One Dark Window. I cried. I don't cry at books. Like, I might have a little bit of a or like a little tear or something like that, or I get emotional in books, but like, I'm not kidding you. I freaking sobbed for like 5 minutes after The Shepherd King at the very end because she connected it so beautifully, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It was such a good book,
It was
so
so
amazing.
good. It was so
Uh,
surprisingly good. That was another
yes.
surprise.
Another book I had from a recommendation of another friend, and it's very different than what we normally read, but it's called The Devil of Dublin. And it's got magic in it, but it's set in like modern day Ireland. And it's like about this like magical love spirit sort of thing. Very different, but so freaking good. So
Hmm.
freaking good. It's very, very different. It's not like fantasy, really. It's a little bit fantasy, but it's set in modern day, but not in like a weird, like unattractive way. I don't know. The
Mhm.
writer of that series, I'd be interested to read some more of her stuff because I thought she was just incredible. But
Hmm.
um I think I have 30% left in the last trial of Sun Queen, and then I'm also going to be reading Anathema because I just tag on to whatever Alyssa and I decide that we're gonna read.
Well, when we're near the end, she goes, "Okay, so what are we reading next?" So then I'm flipping through and I'm like, "Okay, there's this one or this one or this one." And we're really trying to focus on completed series right now because we have some PTSD from Onyx Storm, and also
Yes.
ACOTAR, to be honest. Um, so I'm like going through and we'll like look up the summaries and we're like, this one.
PTSD from Onyx Storm is so real because
Yes.
every single day when I look on her Instagram and see that there is not an update that she's even started the next book, I like start twitching and I'm like, this is so cruel because it's going to be a minimum of a year from the time she even starts the next book.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Mhm.
And that we
I'd
have,
be shocked
it's
if we
fine.
got in 26.
Self
Mm,
care, you do what you need to do for you, but I just need you to know that we really just need to know what the heck happened at the end of Onyx Storm. And I'm not going to say anything for people who haven't read it. If you haven't read the Empyrean series, you need to. 10 out of 10 would
mhm.
recommend. But
Yep.
also, if you're not ready for like trauma to be traumatized and have to wait, you can also wait too.
Emotional
Um,
damage is what I think you meant to say.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah. And okay, so for me, let's see. I haven't read as many as you guys have. I read Quicksilver this month, and the next book comes out in November. I actually enjoyed Quicksilver, but I didn't get as into it as I thought I would from based on everybody's recommendations. Yeah, I didn't really. It was okay. I read Phantasma. That one
Ooh.
was also just okay. And she has a second book for the Phantasma series. So I guess it's like a duology. But I didn't read the second one because when I read the summary of what the second one is, to me, it doesn't make sense after how she ended the first one. It almost seemed like a rinse and repeat of the first one, but where there was like a new main male character, which I just really didn't dig that idea of it. So long story short, so far in September, I'm not super thrilled with the books I've read. I'll read the second book of Quicksilver because I am curious what happened. But again, I just wasn't, I don't know, everyone was like so obsessed with it, so obsessed with it. And then when I got into it, it wasn't that for me. I do have to say though, the ending of it is pretty, the way she ended it with the plot twist of Quicksilver, like I thought that was a good
Mhm.
plot twist, and I thought she ended it well to where, like, you can wait for the next book without
Mm.
feeling like you're gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
I had closure. Does that make sense? Like, it was a good plot twist, but I had
Yeah.
closure. I could patiently wait because 'cause I'm content enough with it wasn't a huge cliffhanger, I didn't feel like. And then I just finished It Ends With Us, and those are, like, my fantasy or my fiction books. Um, I just started It Ends With Us because I felt like I have been so let down from the last couple of books I've read that were romantasy that I was like, "I need to try to, like, switch it up," and I know I liked the It Ends With Us movie, so I was like, "Let me just read the book and see if it was as good," but I don't know, overall, it wasn't super great, so I'm gonna pull a Tori and give, like, 2 recommendations of books that I actually loved that I've read this year. There's really only when I'm looking at my list, 2 books that I've read besides Onyx Storm that I've just absolutely loved, would reread, and would recommend it again. The first one is Kindred's Curse Saga, even though I have PTSD from that one because she was supposed to release the 4th
Mm.
book, like, forever ago, and she hasn't. But the main male character in Kindred's Curse Saga is my favorite book boyfriend, of all time. He's, like, taken
Wow.
number 1. Mhm. Love him.
Over Rowan?
Yeah.
No one's over
I love
Rowan.
him. I
No
can't
one's
tell
over
you his
Rowan.
name because, like, it'll ruin it for you because, you don't
'Cause they're
necessarily know who the end game is right away at the very beginning of the book. You'll figure it out
Mhm.
early on, but you don't know who the end game is.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
But I freaking love him. Love him. And it's a slow burn, and it's a good slow burn too. Like, that was just chef's kiss. And then When the Moon Hatched, I was really
Mm.
pleasantly surprised, and I really liked that main male character too, and the plot twist of that book as well. I did
Fun.
not see coming, and yeah, those are the two that I would recommend, except When the Moon Hatched, the second book that completes it, doesn't come out until April.
Boo.
So I am on the loser train with completed series. I haven't partake in that.
It's really great. You should join us over here.
I'm taking notes. I've literally added, I've bumped the things you've read to the top of my to be read list so I can like have some joy again instead of being left
Yes.
just broken and bleeding on my own with my heart in my hands. So, all right, Alyssa, do you have any other thoughts on your books of the month that you want to
Uh,
share before we hit our Momtroversial moment?
I have a hot take on one of your books.
Okay.
And my hot take is that I don't think Colleen Hoover is a good writer, and I think her books suck. Said it.
Oh.
I don't like them. I really don't. I've tried to read a lot. I've DNF'd 2 of them. I made it through It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us or whatever those are called, but, like, was not that impressed, and I don't like her writing. So, I just had to put that out there.
So Tori and I were talking about this again. I read for the vibes. I read for the vibes. I watched the movie, so I have always been a romantasy girl. If I'm not reading personal development, life improvement, life lessons, nonfiction, then it's romantasy. It's one extreme or the other. I don't do just realistic fiction. That's just not my jam. And Tori and I were talking about it. I actually think the movie did a good job of the book. And I actually did like the book. I was impressed at how, even after watching the movie, I was still so interested in the book. Now, were there some things that I would have changed? Yes. But the one thing that I really appreciated, I think, was by the time I finished it, her epilogue, where she gave you basically the behind the scenes
Mhm.
of why she wrote it and the story with her
Mhm.
mom.
Mhm.
And to me, that really made up for some of the shortcomings in the actual storyline because it connected and put it all on a bow to where I really understood
Yeah.
the real lifeness of the story, even though like Loki hated at the same time.
I think
What
her
are your
why
thoughts,
was
Tori?
good. I just don't like her writing.
Fair.
What are your thoughts,
My
Tori?
my la I mean, I agree with pretty much what you said about the It Ends With Us. My biggest thing was, and we talked about this literally tonight, but I thought they did not capture the intensity of the book. One thing that I think that she did well was especially, this is like maybe a trigger warning for anyone, but the abusive scenes were very well written. And it's probably because of her own life experiences. Like, she wrote that onto the pages. And because I really felt like I was in it, like I could feel like the vibe of the everything going on. And like, I feel like the movies did not capture that intensity. Like, they did not do
Mhm.
well. Like, they didn't do her writing justice in the movies from that.
I agree with that.
I'd agree there. Yeah.
But I wanted to plug a different series actually that has it's not completed. I read it because I thought it was completed, and it was so freaking good that I was like, oh my gosh. But it's the Valdor series by J.L. Larson. Her third book out of 4 in the series is actually coming out like next month, I want to say. So that's why I wanted to plug it, because I'm so freaking excited that it's coming out. I like comment on all of her stuff. I'm like, can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. I'm probably not her biggest fan, but I am a huge fan. So I just wanted to
All right.
add that for anyone who's looking for that. And that was another story that I felt it's romantasy, but it's very different. It's not super predictable. There's some parts that you're like, okay, if you've read any romantasy book is slightly predictable, right?
Yeah.
But this is about it has fae, it has shifters of different animals. And it's like a multi-world thing. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's so, so good. And her writing is wonderful. So just wanted to plug that because it's about to come out, the 3rd book, and it's so, so good.
All right.
I love it. I just added it to my list. I've added, since we've been on this
Yay.
call, 4 different series to my list and moved 1 to the top. So thank you.
Which one to the top?
I already had Trial of the Sun Queen at the top, and then One Dark Window.
Oh yeah.
I moved
Good
under
choices.
Trial of the Sun Queen.
Nice.
Love.
I don't think you'll
So
be unhappy with either one.
perfect. That's what I need in my life right now.
Yes.
So now that we've caught up on books for September, let's get into our Momtroversial Moments of the Week. And we will start with you, Alyssa. What is your Momtroversial moment?
Okay, mine doesn't as much have to do with my kids this week as it has to do with a new strategy, if you will, about parenting. I am not a sentimental mom. I'm just not. I'll throw away your drawings. I'm sorry about it. They're beautiful, and I looked at them and they were great, but especially at this age, like, I'll throw them away. But Reagan is also at the age where she's like, why is my drawing in the trash, mommy? I'm like, oh, shoot, didn't cover that one up. And so we have started mailing her drawings to Anna and Elsa, and they love to receive them. And we just mail them. They disappear. Yeah.
I love
And
it.
I just thought, I was like, okay, I'm a genius, low key. Like, yeah.
That's
I think you're a
awesome.
genius. That's so smart of a way to be able to, get rid of it, but without hurting feelings at the same time.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So
How'd you come up with
there
that?
it is. I think she mentioned something about sending mail or something. And then she had 47 drawings stacked up, and I was like, ugh, what are we gonna do with these? And I was like, wait, I know what we can do. So, because we're just, my little Korean kids didn't really, literally one day we walked up to a friend's house and she points at the mailbox and she goes, "What's that, Mom?" So we're just learning about mailing things and such. So it's kind of been on the brain.
That's so cute.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Tori, what is your Momtroversial moment?
My Momtroversial moment is actually has to do with Leah and her kids, because Charlie is constantly talking about them. I mean, everywhere we drive in the car, not all the time at home, but a lot of time at home too, where he's just like, "Mama, Lala, which is Ella, Detty, which is Decky, and then Doe, what he freaking
No.
loves Leah's dogs. So, yeah, we loop it. Well, and so far, I think sometimes he says Leah, but he says it kind of like Ella, but like slightly different. And so I'm like, "Oh, Leah," and he's like, "Mm-mm." I'm like, "Oh, Ella?" And he's like, and then he goes on his whole mm-mm thing where he just says mm-mm to everything. But yeah, so this is like a constant thing. We're constantly talking about Lala, Decky, Doe, Mummer, over and over, over and over, over and over. So we got Leah and Ella and Decky and Doke and Summer on the brain all the time, and we love it. We're here
So
for it.
cute.
But it's
I
it's
love
so
him
funny
so much.
because he is your biggest fan.
He's my bestie. He makes me so happy. And Travis got on his good side tonight too, which is
Yeah.
Ooh.
Travi was playing with Charlie and Ella. They came over for dinner, and Charlie kept giving Travis the helmet, and then Travis would take Ella's helmet. I just bought Ella a helmet from when we go scootering. And he would take Ella's helmet and then put it on Ella and then give it to Charlie and then put it on himself. And they were just having this cute little, the three of them going
So
around while
cute.
Tori and I were chatting on the couch. It was pretty cute.
It was adorable.
I love
So,
it.
okay. So for my momtroversial moment, it was super unexpected, but it was great. And I can't wait for you to hear about it. So my momtroversial moment this week was I'm pregnant.
There's so much FOMO going on right now. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
Yay!
And I've been dying to tell you, but I've had to wait all week till we were filming.
I'm literally so excited. Okay, give us details. When did it happen?
Number
How did
one,
it happen? Where did it happen? Just
well,
kidding.
apparently I freaking suck at the Finn method. Let me just tell you. Apparently I'm the freaking worst Finn methoder ever. Because I was trying to wait a couple months. And when we were positive, we abstained with our LH tests, but it wasn't good enough. And yeah, I have actually known for about 2 weeks now. I
Wow. The
was like one
self-control.
day, I know, it was actually a lot of self-control. It took a lot, but I think it was because I was so shocked at first. And so then it was like, you know how sometimes you feel like, I don't know, for me, it's just always with every one of my kids, it's felt like our little secret between like Travis and I when we
Mhm.
Yeah.
first found out. And so it's like I enjoy having the like our little secret before we have to tell everyone. So we found out 2 weeks ago. I was literally like 1 day late. And I was like, I've been real hormonal this week. I've been real emotional. I've been real tired. And I'm like, what's the difference if I check now or I wait a week? One margarita. One margarita is the difference. I should just take a test now. And so I took a test while Travis was in the shower. And this test was old too. It was probably expired, if we're being honest, because it was from like pre Ella. And I was like scrolling on my phone. And then I looked back and I looked at it and it was a positive. And I was like, I've only had one period since Ella. Like, I only had one period.
Rude.
I know. And I mean,
You
I'm
did
super
say you didn't want
thankful.
another one.
I it's so it's really funny. I told Travis, he came in from taking a shower, and I was like, "Babe, I need to tell you something." And so this is actually pretty funny. I was sitting on the toilet, like not like going to the bathroom, but just sitting on it. And he's like looking around in the bathroom and he's like, "What are you trying to tell me?" He's like, "You're trying to show me you pooped? Like, what are you doing?" And I was like, "No, babe, look." And then he saw the test and he was like, he was super happy.
Aw.
And so then we recorded a video of Declan saying, "Mommy has a baby in her belly." And I was FaceTiming my mom and I sent that to her. And I
Oh
was like,
my
"Oh my gosh, look at
gosh.
this really cute video of like Declan playing with like one of his like teddy bears." And it was funny though, because it took my family like 8 times of watching the video because they're not used to hearing Declan talk because of us
Uh-huh.
being so far away to get it. And then my mom was like, "What?" So yeah, May 15th is my technical due date.
So
was
exciting.
number 3,
Woo!
and we joke about it because after Declan, I remember I wanted to be pregnant, like, right away. Like, I was ready for my period to come back because I wanted another baby, like, boom, boom, but my period didn't come back until he was, like, over 10 months old, and then I had, like, 2 or 3 periods before I got pregnant with Ella, and then it's funny, this time I wanted to wait, and then I get pregnant right away, and I'm like, "Okay, God, I see you.
Fine.
Are you
Yeah.
trying to tell me that I don't have control over my life and I should really just stop trying? Okay, thanks." So, yeah. Yep, and
Gosh, how exciting.
I think we're
Best
gonna do
news ever.
surprise. I don't think we're gonna find out gender
Literally could never. But you have one of
because
each,
I
so that makes it a little easier.
that's the reason why I think. I think it's different when you have one of each because then either way it doesn't matter. I already have girl stuff, I have boy stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't necessarily really care, and I also know for us, it was like we wanted 2 or 4.
Yeah.
So if we're going for 3, then I wanna go for 4, so I know it's not the last one either. So
Mhm.
if there's
Yeah.
any time to be like, "Surprise!" I
That's
think
so
this is gonna
fun.
Ah,
be the surprise.
yay.
That's
So
so
yeah,
awesome.
that's
What a good
us.
day.
I know. I'm technically only like 7 weeks, so I'm like real fresh. I'm like fresh. It's like 7 weeks and 1 day today or
Woo
something
woo.
like that. But yeah, and no morning sickness. I've just been tired
Yay.
and
Hell
hormonal.
yeah.
Like today, I was like, I had a morning. I told Tori, I was like, yeah, I've just had a day today, man. And it's like one of those days where it's like things happen and you just want to cry when I'm not a crier. And I literally, this was funny. I decided, the strong, independent woman I am, that I was going to take the kids to the grocery store today and go get groceries by myself, but it was raining all day, all morning in Korea. Travis offered to go to the grocery store and do it after church for me. I said, no, I got it. Like, you just do your thing. I'll see you at home. He's like, okay. And so then I did it. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, wow, this was stupid. I shouldn't have done this because I didn't have an umbrella. And then I'm loading the car in the rain, loading the kids, and I go to shut the trunk and I shut the door on my head
Oh.
Oh.
because I had my rain jacket on, like the hood on, so I wasn't as aware. And that was one of the moments where I could tell I was hormonal today because I was like, want to cry, which is so like
Oh.
not me. And I was like, Mama needs a nap and Mama needs to get herself together. So, yeah, surprise.
Woo!
Yay.
Well, everyone, thank you for coming to our week of book talk in September and hearing our exciting news and controversial moments. If you guys have any topics you would like to hear us talk about or any recommendations of things you want to see, you can follow us on Instagram at Momtroversial Podcast. And until next time, keep it Momtroversial. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.